Hey everyone, the weather is changing. It's getting kind of chilly outside. And as you may be aware of, there's been an increase in crime over the past few months, especially Black Friday. There was an increase in crime. People were going around breaking into different shops, taking whatever they felt like they wanted to take. Um, doesn't make a whole lot of sense because they just had several stimulus packages that they've received in the past year. And there's been all kinds of opportunities for people to get extra financial help so that their housing can be taken care of so that they weren't without paying their rent or whatever. Or if they went for an excessively long time not paying their rent, then it was still at least taken care of through these housing programs and financial resources that were available. My reason for being on here today is that there have been a lot of carjackings and a lot of cars just straight up stole while people were warming their car up. Um, and from the city that I live in, the police department has actually they send out emails, especially for people that are signed up for their crime watch list or whatever. And I try to be on top of stuff and know what's going on around me and in my community because just like you want to have your everyday stuff that you carry with you just in case you need it for an emergency or whatever, you also need to have a mindset of preparedness and understand what are the laws and the expectations within the community that you live in. Where I live, if someone says, "Ooh, it's cold out," which is at least 6 months out of the year, it can be kind of chilly, and they run outside, start up their car, they have their extra key, so they lock the door and run back into their home, pull up their blankie or just cuddle up and try to get warm. Sounds real nice. But if they look back outside and their car is gone, they can call the police. Sure. The officer will come and say, "Sir, ma'am, or whomever, did you have your key in your car?" And you can say, "Sure. Sure, I had my key in my car. I started my car. It was cold. I had the car running, but I had locked the door and I went back into my place and somebody went and stole my car." You know what that officer is going to say? "Okay, somebody stole your car. You had your key in the car, warming the car up. You're thinking, what a travesty. This is horrible. Find that person, arrest that person." And if you're in a city that has laws on the books, like the city that I live in, that officer will say, "The fact that you had your key in your car, warming your car up, is a misdemeanor. You get a misdemeanor. Not the person that stole your car. You get a misdemeanor for having your car running without you being in the car." How do you get around something like that? That's a real that's the real deal where I am in the Twin Cities. It's the real deal. You will get a misdemeanor if you are warming up your car, you got your key in there cranked up and you lock the door because you got your spare key and you're at home, you will get a misdemeanor. They may help you find your car, after the person's finished joyriding it or whatever for 2 or 3 days, doing whatever they're doing with it. Then they'll say, "Oh, yeah, we found your car. By the way, here's your ticket because you have a misdemeanor. You got to pay that fine because you showed a level of irresponsibility by not being in the car when the car was warming up." Now, it gets cold here. It gets really cold here. You know, right now, people talking about global warming and everything, and it doesn't feel like it normally would, because normally it would be below zero for extended periods of time. Um, Snow. Once it's on the ground, it's there for months. But right now, the weather is really kind of nice. But people with a car either need to be sitting in that car with the door locked, with a blanket pulled up over them, multiple layers of clothes, because that's how we work it in Minnesota. We wear multiple layers of clothes so that we're protected. It's easier to take stuff off than to have to worry about putting something on once you're out and about. But how do you get around the ordinance that we have about not having your car running without you in it? You get around that ordinance by having an electric car starter where you can go bleep bleep through the window and let it run, because then the car can start warming up and the engine can start warming up and getting ready for that road trip or wherever you're going to go, and nobody can just hop in it and just drive off. It's only going to warm it up, it's only going to start it up, but people can't boogie away down the road with your vehicle. Because even if a lot of people think that, I'm gonna put my key in, I'm gonna crank this baby up, and I'm gonna run right inside, and I'm gonna be looking out the window. Window's right here. I'm gonna be looking. See, is anybody coming near my car? It takes that long for somebody to pop that lock. Even these new locks, it's actually kind of easy for people to do, unfortunately. So some laws and ordinances are in place for a good reason, and that's one that's in place for a really good reason. So if you're able to get the automatic car started, more power to you. You can warm up your vehicle and not worry about somebody just hopping in and taking off down the road. If you got to use your key, it's very much advisable that you stay with the vehicle or at least know the laws and ordinances in the area that you live, because like I said, where I live, you'll get a misdemeanor. Someone steals your vehicle and you get a misdemeanor. It's like when people go to get gas at the gas station and they get out of their car to go to pump the gas, got the kid in the back seat, close and lock the door, because they're just going to run inside to pay for the gas or whatever, and they left the other key in the ignition. Somebody else just runs on up, doop, 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 gets in that car, and they're driving off with your child in the back seat. And yes, what they did was wrong. But because people keep doing these things and leaving their key in the car, that's like saying, "Here, please just take everything that I have. Here, please, just go on ahead and take it, and then I'm going to throw a tantrum." It's really, really, really important to know the laws and ordinances of your area. That's something that if you're not aware of it for your area, don't just assume that it's not on the books. Try to find out. Google it for your area or talk to someone in law enforcement. I know not everyone's comfortable talking to people in law enforcement, but hey, you need to know what you need to know because you don't want any surprises. That's like me. I have an electric bike. If say I'm riding around on my bike, which does use a key, uses a key just like a motorcycle, um, and I decide to get off of it for a minute to turn around and tie my shoe or whatever, and if I leave the key in the ignition, somebody may jump on it and take off down the road. Should I be surprised? No, because we have to use some wisdom in everything that we're doing. And in these days and times with all the crime that has been going on and how things have been getting progressively worse, we have to look around us. Don't have your head in the clouds. Don't be so caught up into your cell phone that you are not recognizing what's going on around you. Because I can guarantee you there's people that will be around you looking at you saying, well, this person is totally distracted. And they got a super gigantic purse on their shoulder. Well, let's see. I think I'll knock them down and take the purse, or they may pull out a pocket knife and just cut the strap and run. They'll run like the wind. So there's some things that people can do so they're not being so obviously vulnerable. It's all in the way that you walk. It's all in your attitude. It's looking around you, not looking like you're lost. Even if you are a little lost and confused, try not to look like you're lost because that is just like a big beacon flashing saying, hey, come take advantage of me. Take my purse. Oh, you see all these bags I got? I just went shopping for whoever's birthday or holiday or whatever. And, you know, don't put yourself in a position where you become more vulnerable. Be diligent, not only in your preps in your home, not only in the food in your kitchen, but in everything that you do, in your lifestyle, in handling your finances, and put back a little bit extra money so just in case you need it, you have it. Having a plan in place if it looks like there's going to be a chance of some kind of civil unrest. Having a plan in place if you're hearing about a virus that's gone through all the letters of the alphabet and now it's going through the Greek alphabet. What are you going to do for you and what are you going to do for your loved ones? How are you going to be prepared for this? And if things break off in a way where it starts to get out of control, are you ready? Are you ready to bug in? Are you ready to bug out? Do you have enough food to last to make it through a crisis? Do you have enough food that if you were to get sick, that you might end up being quarantined at home for 2 or 3 weeks? Do you have enough food for yourself and your family that you can make it that amount of time if you're incapacitated and you're not able to get anywhere? Not only that, if the power goes out, what are you going to do? What is your situation? What is your plan for lighting? Do you have a plan for lighting? Do you have lanterns? There's some lanterns that are nice that have like AA and AAA batteries. Do you have something like that? Do you have flashlights? Do you have a hand crank flashlight? Do you have an emergency radio? Walkie talkies? Solar panels? Little handheld power generator? Everything doesn't need to be extravagant. It just needs to meet your needs. Do you keep a list of what medications that you're on in case of an emergency and those that are in your household? Is anyone on any medications? Or are there any allergies, anything specific that needs to be kept in a piece of paper? And maybe it can be stuck to the side of your refrigerator or put in a drawer in your kitchen. Do you have all that? Have you made a plan with your family so that if something comes up, you have a meeting place? If such and so happens and you're not able to get home, meet me at da da da. What's your plan? I'm just keeping it real. And I hope you don't think that I'm crazy, but you know, a lot of people just possibly do. But still, you need a plan. If you wear glasses, it's kind of a good idea to have a backup pair of glasses so that in case a pair gets broken or damaged some kind of way or left behind one place or another, it's good to have a backup pair if you need that. If you only use readers, more power to you. I would suggest go to CVS or Walgreens or Walmart or Target, Kmart, Rite Aid, Food Lion, go somewhere and get you a backup pair of readers because then at least you have something in case you need it. Thank you for taking your time to be with me today. I hope you're all well. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, I'd ask that you subscribe. I think it would be really helpful because then you get notified when my videos come up. And I'd love it if you would leave a comment on how prepared you are. I mean, you don't have to tell all your business because don't nobody need to know all your business except for you. But are you prepared? Are you ready for whatever comes up? Did you even know about these ordinances that some places have in effect where people do get misdemeanors for starting their car and then hopping out their car so they can go back into their home to get warm? What other things are out there on the books that we don't really know about? What other things do we need to know so that we can start to really, truly be prepared for whatever may come up? I hope you'll find at least one person to share this video with. And thank you again for joining me. And I look forward to being on here again soon.